All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hustle Podcast. We're in episode 40. My name is John. I'm your host, and we have my co-host,
Gabriel Arambula. I switch it up. Like sometimes I say like Arambula, and sometimes I'm like Arambula.
Rambala.
Yeah, it
However you
depends.
feel.
Yeah.
All right, and if you guys are new here, what we talk about on this podcast is everything related to business, mindset, how we can add value to you guys, and also Gabe and I share our collective 25 years of entrepreneurial experience and also mistakes. That way you guys know what to avoid and expedite your process and whatever journey you're on. And as you guys know, from time to time, we have special guests on the podcast, and it's funny how we had Sabrina on, right? It was just so Gabe and I were walking through the hallway, literally about to do the podcast, and
Talking about like what we're gonna talk about. And
like,
we normally don't have like a set topic in stone, and we will think of a topic the day of or moments before the podcast. But ironically enough, there wasn't an immediate topic at hand, and just like God just provided Sabrina to us here, and so yes, Sabrina was the sport, and like literally on the fly, Sabrina's like, yeah, say less, I'm down. So Sabrina, you're an account executive here at theLender. How long have you been here for?
I'll be going on my 1 year actually coming up in August.
Nice.
Damn, okay.
What date
1
in
year?
August? What day?
August 5th.
Oh, damn. I
Let's
thought you were going to
go.
say 26 because that's my birthday.
Hey.
And then we would celebrate like big, but we'll still celebrate big for you. August 5th. August 5th. Nice. And so you've been here a year. What is your previous background prior to joining the lender?
Honestly, I have no mortgage industry whatsoever. Before being here,
Gabe, put it closer.
I was actually helping people get out of their timeshares. So I was doing sales. The company that I worked for actually just wasn't working out. They ended up having to shut the doors. So for about a month, I was looking for a job, and I got a call. 2 weeks of being unemployed, and they're like, hey, we saw your resume. You do a lot of calls. Would you be interested? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm all about opportunities. Prior to that, I actually was before COVID, I was actually in the dental assisting field for 6.5 years. Due to COVID, they shut the doors. It was kind of just, not for me anymore with all of those scary things going on. And I decided to go back to school to get my esthetician license. So while during COVID, going to school, doing all that, working at bars just to have some extra income. So ultimately just chasing the bag and chasing dreams, whatever I can do to make money and like keep myself happy.
Dang,
let's
hustling.
go.
Exactly.
Straight hustling, like Sabrina.
And so like, so a couple of things come to mind. Like one, definitely admire the hustle.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Yep.
Especially in today's day and age, like, that whole mentality of having like a hard work ethic and wanting to continue to improve yourself. I feel like in today's day and age, it seems as if everybody has those type of aspirations, but I think the message speaks louder than the reality. So it's really cool to in the midst of like pandemic and everything that's going on, to see you out there hustling. And so you have a diverse background, lot of like people like soft skills. You bring a lot of that's kind of what I gather.
Yeah, a lot of customer service.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yes.
All about
That's
that.
huge.
That's like truthfully what I strive on. So when I'm calling brokers, loan officers, and they're like, hey, yeah, I know the lender. I'm like, are you signed up with us? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, that says a lot. If you have an account executive with us and you don't know them by their name, that's huge.
Yes.
I'm like, that's a big red flag. So if anybody's calling my brokers are like, sorry, I'm working with Sabrina.
I'm taking.
Like, you're good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny. I mean, like, to me, it's about building that relationship and making an impact on people's lives, whether that be, simply as answering your phone and answering your emails, getting back to people. But, it's like, we're all human beings. We all have personal lives. So at the end of the day, sure, I want to do business with you. I want to fund those loans. I want to make that money. We all do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can stop and smell the roses and be like, hey, how was your Father's Day? How was your weekend? So it's just, like I said, building those relationships.
Nice. Now, so this is a tough job. like it's a tough industry.
For sure.
It's a tough job being an account executive in the lending industry on
Mhm.
the heels of a market that has been less than desirable. You hear a lot of loan officers that we call like, yeah, I'm not in the business anymore,
Right.
or like the majority of loan officers will make comments like, yeah, I don't have any deals right now. Things are slow,
Right.
right? But in the midst of this, throughout 2024 and in 2025, that's when you built your career. Now, it's known, and history has shown that many individuals who achieved a notable level of success have done so during like tough times, right? During
Exactly.
difficult economies, during tough times.
Yeah.
But it begs the question, like, what helped you stay consistent in the field and in the position so you can see results? And John and I, we've talked about this before, where a lot of folks, they quit just when they're like 3 feet from gold. Like you're so
Right.
Mm-hmm.
close. You're like
Right.
Yep.
so close. And if you just would have hung in like one more month, sometimes like one more week,
One
and
more
like
day too.
one more
Right.
Or
day,
1 hour for your broker.
For
Six
one more
sure.
p.m.
hour. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's so many stories of like, one of the first good callbacks I had was a broker like second weekend, and then he ended up signing up. But like, what helped you, or how did you like stay in there? Because it's tough.
That's a great question. Honestly, there were times like it's a roller coaster. You have, like I tell people, it's like you have to love that roller coaster of that ride of
Mm.
like the highs and the lows. But there were times where I was like, do I quit? Do I go find something else? Do I go back to the dental field? Do I go back to my esthetician? Like I have stuff to fall back on, but the fact that there's so many opportunities to make serious money in this industry, I set myself up and I told myself, you know what? If I don't fund anything and I don't make any commission by, I think I said like February, I was
Mm.
like, I'm out. I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
And that was what, 4 months in.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone was like, you know what? Give yourself 6 months. So I gave myself 6 months: August, September, October, November, December, January was 6 months. I gave myself grace. So I said February. Come February, I did. I funded. I had
Nice.
some
Let's
commission.
go.
And then March, I did my best month, which was what, 2.37.
Ooh.
Hey.
So
Okay.
it was great. But then, it's like you're saying, you kind of take your foot off the gas because you're like, cool, I'm stoked. Then I stopped focusing on the next month and I was like, dude, so what? Like, yeah, April, May, I had no fundings. It was straight
Yeah.
zero.
Wow.
I had submissions,
Sure.
but those loans were dying. So
Yeah.
now it's like, here we are again. I've got a little over 2.5 in my pipeline
Nice.
right now. So what is it, the 17th? Hopefully I've got 3 loans that are supposed to fund. It should be a little over 2.4. So
Nice.
fingers crossed, the next
Yes.
couple months it'll be worth it.
Nice. I love that. And so like you set a realistic goal and expectation to attain funding a loan, and you accomplish that goal. Now, what were some of the things that helped you accomplish that goal? Because I mean, business does not fall on you have to fight for
Yep.
every
Absolutely.
single deal.
Absolutely.
You have the opportunity. So like, what did you do to make sure that you hit that goal, aside from making a commitment and setting a realistic expectation for yourself?
Honestly, I use my manager a lot. Shout out to Diego because he really is an amazing manager when it comes down to it. I schedule him. I make calls with him. I do follow-ups with him. If I've done a scenario for somebody and they haven't sent me the deal, we're reaching back out. What else do you have? Like today, I mean, we did a call with this lady that I spoke to this morning, and I scheduled time with him to just be like, hey, come over here. Let me talk to you about pricing. So I was having a little bit of an issue on something where I'm like, I've never had this happen. So let me bring him in. Next thing you know, we're flipping this loan into a super noni, and she's like stoked.
Wow.
So it's like I'm about to get her. It's actually an account that I'm about to inherit. I'm gonna take over.
Nice.
So it's just like using your team and like not abusing, but like getting that team to like back you up. Obviously learning your guidelines, learning your matrices, knowing what LTVs and those, the ins and outs of your programs, it truly makes such a difference. There's a broker that I've been talking to since December, and he even told me the other day, he goes, from when you first started, he's like, you had no idea what you were saying. I'm like, I didn't. I was like, what is YSP?
I
What
can
is
tell.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's like, all of a sudden, like, you're talking like you know your stuff. I'm like, because I do. Like,
Yeah.
true, I'm not gonna sit here and say I know everything, but I definitely have taken the time to study those things and just, you know, sharpen my tools in my toolbox. And your team truly does make a difference. And like your account managers, your underwriters, communication to me is everything.
Mm.
So if you don't have that and you can't step up and be assertive when you need to be, you're going to be trampled on.
Yeah.
Especially
Wow.
a female in this industry. You're surrounded by men. And like, come on, everybody's got an ego. So
Yeah.
it's like, all men are like, yeah, let me hear you roar. It's like, oh, I am competitive with myself and
Yeah.
only myself. So when we're seeing
Boom.
numbers of everyone else, it's like, good job, cool.
Yeah.
I'll clap for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, heck
I'll
yeah.
root for you.
You
know?
against
Yeah.
you.
But like,
Yeah.
it's me against me, and I am my own worst critic. So just staying in that positive headspace, whether you're reading your Bible, listening to positivity, you know, surrounding yourself with positive people that will lift you up on times when you're on the floor, you know,
Yeah.
things
yeah.
like that definitely make a difference.
Whew, that was good. That was
We can end it right here.
I'm inspired. I'm inspired right now.
All right.
I want to
See you on the phones.
do some work. Yeah. Like
Oh
Watch
man.
out, I might be taking your broker.
That's
yeah,
right. You better watch out.
Yep. Listen, you got to make
Oh,
sure
man.
you know you're on your grind. Dang, I got a few things like, you know, it sounds like you're very resilient. You're very driven.
For sure.
You have tough skin.
I try.
You know, one of the things that John and I have talked about previously is in regards to in individuals, you know, utilizing the human capital at their disposal, i.e.
Mhm.
managers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, also on the flip side of the coin, we also talk about, you know, leaders leading from the front and being involved and making themselves available.
Yes.
You know, I caught also that, you know, you mentioned you actually schedule time. So like you're proactive and you're honoring your leader's time by not just like barging in and being like, yo, what's up? Can you hop on this call with me right here, right now? I got
Of
this broker. Like we're
course.
talking. Can you?
Yeah. It's inconsiderate to just like,
It
Yeah.
is.
it happens. Like this
Yeah.
morning I went up to Diego and it's like, he's surrounded, you know, he just got out of a meeting and I'm sitting there and he's like, I haven't eaten breakfast. I'm like, okay, I'll walk with you. Let's
Yeah.
go. And then as soon as I walk, here comes someone else, cuts right
Mom.
in front of me. And I was like,
Wow.
let me just take a deep breath. Let me just sit down at my desk and like, he'll come walk
Mhm.
by and I'll be able to catch him. And sure enough, he walks by and there's like two people swarming him. So it's like,
Wow.
you have to be considerate of other people's times because yeah, of course, time we're never going to get back. But this job has taught me patience.
Yeah.
And like, and he even said
Wow.
it today. He goes, keep up with like being persistent. He's like, because it shows. He's like, you step up when you need to and you speak up for yourself when you need to, because yeah, otherwise someone else is going to step in front of you and what, you're just going to let it happen? No,
Yeah.
Nope.
absolutely not. But I'm also not going to be aggressive.
Sure.
And so it's like you get more bees with honey than you do the little other stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. So
Boom.
my mom should always tell me when growing up, like, hey son, you get more bees with honey than salt.
Mm-hmm.
And it always stuck with me. And I think you know, even today, you know, I've really being kind to others and being courteous, being polite. It's always at the forefront. And you know, I think unfortunately in business, we've you know, maybe had examples of people just being rude to get to the top, right?
Right.
Or
Mm.
Stepping on others to be able to get to the
Yep.
top. And that's not how I go. Like,
no,
you see a lot of the snakes in the garden here for sure. You see a lot of
Yeah.
stuff happen. But like for me, as a Christian, that's not, you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So if you want to
100%.
sit there and reap, you know, bad things, you're gonna at the end of the day look at it and it's
Yep.
gonna be like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Yes.
You
That's
know,
right.
and I don't want to live like that. I want to
Oh,
look back and be like, God, did I do what you asked me to do? Did I do it the way you wanted me to?
Yeah.
And I want to make him proud, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. And I think, you know, that is you know, right there in regards to like core principles
Yeah.
in business, like having integrity,
Mm-hmm.
huge. And you know, you never know, like that individual that you might be trampling over, they might be your boss one day.
Exactly.
You might be reporting to them one day. And you know, aside from that, just, you know, like Sabrina said, it's like you reap what you sow.
Yep.
Right? A lot of these principles within business that are talked about from those who achieved a notable level of success, these principles have been derived from biblical principles. I mean, like they're tried and true. They don't call them biblical principles, but the principles derived directly from the Bible.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you mentioned that. And again, like shout out to Diego. Like, how many people are shout out to Diego? Like,
Yep.
just
Shout out
your
Diego.
your involvement in the growth and development
For sure.
of your people. Like, dude, I love that. It's like one of the things when I was managing sales teams. I would let them know. Do you remember what I would say, John? I'm gonna see if he remembers. If you had a deal, if you had a deal in front of you, what do you, and you couldn't close it, what do you do?
Give me a call or something.
You give
Something
me
like
a
that.
call, and we go over what the client has, what they want,
Yeah.
and how much money they have to work with, and it's like you just close more deals that way from an overall leader perspective. And sometimes I think as leaders, and I've done this before, you put yourself in a bubble. It's easy to get stuck in the back office. There's so much work to do. There's so much admin stuff. There's so much operational stuff to take care of. But at the end of the day, the sales drive the business. And if you're not driving sales and generating revenue, your operations could be tip top, spick and span, but you're going to be out of a job. You need to generate sales. So, again, shout out to Diego. That's amazing. And your team, how many people do you got on your team?
Dude, I don't even know.
It's crazy, like 50,
30, 40.
No,
50.
more.
At one point, I think we had like 18, and now, like, yeah. I mean, because now we're combined with Craig's team. So he's got a small little team, and then there's us. Like, we had a meeting today, and we went to go in the conference room. We wouldn't even fit. So it's like,
It was growing.
Someone was like, "You guys are gonna try and fit us all?" It's like, yeah, no, we're gonna be like sardines for sure.
That's wild. So Diego's just like, whoop.
We're growing. I mean, we were going over our numbers. Like, dude, hopefully we're about 60 million. We should be funding 60 million this month. Just our team alone. So
wow,
those are big numbers, like record breaking for the company.
Huge,
sure.
huge numbers for a team. Now, in your experience here, do you have any particular loans that you can recall that you closed that were like unique situations or things that maybe the broker or loan officer didn't think we could accomplish but were able to get done, or things where we kind of exceeded expectations in regards to the offering?
Oh, for sure. Actually, this deal, it was like a 1.89 cash out DSCR, and the credit report had expired. It expired the day that we were going to be funding the loan. And I think that they needed like a certificate of occupancy, and I think the broker ended up getting it like literally that day. And like we were like, well, we need exceptions, like this and that. We were trying to like rush everything, and then just somehow by the grace of God, we were able to get that loan funded.
Wow.
And like people were asking, like, why are you guys rushing it? It's like, because the credit report expires today. And they're like, well, we'll just repull credit. It's like, no, we won't. We can't repull credit. So yeah, we ended up getting the loan done. My broker was like, dude, this loan, you guys got this loan done, and it was unbelievable that you got it done. So, and he's actually one of my favorite brokers. I've got 2 loans with him right now. One's a 1.999, and I've got a 324 purchase. So
nice.
He'd be sending me some good stuff.
Nice.
I love it. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's like when you provide that customer service, it like it'll come back to you. Like, but like he has a 5-unit that he called me back in March. He's like, can you price this out? I'm like, yeah. Price it out for him. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, the rates are a little ugly on those 5 to 8 units. He's like, no worries. He tells me he's gonna take it to another lender because he's getting all this yield spread. I'm like, no worries, totally understand, no hard feelings. Calls me yesterday. He goes, Sabrina, you're not gonna believe it. They couldn't do the loan. And I was like, what happened? He's like, they added all these fees in. He's like, it's not DSCR. It has to be a DSCR at 1.4. Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, send me the numbers. I'm like, let me run it for you. I'm like, it's over 1.4. I'm like, just send me the loan. I'm like, call your AE, tell her you're going to send it over here.
Done.
So he literally called me this morning. He's like, can you give me pricing on this? I went and talked to a nut, and I was like, sorry, we can't fly, but we could do it. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So long story short, he's going to be sending me that one too. So yeah, good business, just overcoming. And just honestly, truthfully, I help people. And when you help someone, whether or not you're going to get something out of it, to me, it comes back to you. Like,
Yes.
I'll be sending people that DSCR calculator. I'm like, oh, you're not signed up with us? Hey, you do DSCR loans? Here's this calculator.
Yeah.
Like, it helps. And like, look at what this did for me. Like, I helped him out by doing all this stuff, and it's like, now I'm about to get another loan from him. So
Nice. Yeah, going over and above, exceeding those expectations. And you mentioned something great, right? Like giving without accepting anything in return.
Yeah.
And when we do that, it always comes back,
for
right?
sure, for
when,
sure.
when we're like giving and we're thinking like, all right, cool, I'm gonna put this out there, maybe I'll get something in return. Well, you already you got your blessing there. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Oh, yeah.
You're done.
Exactly.
No, that's huge. What are, like, if you could name like 2 to 3 things that that you love about this position, this role, and or the company, or 3 things that you've learned to love within this role or position with this company as an AE?
One thing that I have learned to love, I guess, is just patience. Like, I feel like, just living in the world that we have today, everything's at a click of a button, everything's at a snap of our fingers. And just patience has really taught me a lot at this job, and how to have patience being here. Of course, I've got trust issues. Who doesn't? So just trusting your back end, and truthfully trusting your team in order to like fall back on them, making sure that they're going to get things done in a timely manner. Things that I love about theLender, the opportunities for sure, like the money opportunities, the friends that you get to make, I would say just networking too, being able to talk to people, get to know people on a deeper level. And of course, like the snacks that they give us.
The best part.
treats.
Doesn't like
That's the main reason why I
It's
come through.
National Veggie Day, like
National Veggie Day.
I love it. But I was telling them, like, last week we had National Peanut Butter Cookie Day, like
cookies,
all
yes.
about it.
Yep.
So you got to keep it fun in a stressful environment, and I think that makes a difference. That they take the time out of their day to plan those things for us. I'm always super thankful and grateful that they do those things, because they don't have to do those things.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
It breaks some monotony, right?
Yeah, like those little small things you count, and you got to be grateful for those things, because other people don't have that.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yeah. No, it's fun. Like the environment here, and I always think it's like, I almost feel lucky because it almost seems like every company I've worked for has actually been pretty rad, and this is just the same. The overall environment, the leadership, it's a good spot. I like it. I dig it. John, you like it?
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, great environment. Whenever we come to the office, like, it's super fun, great vibes. We got like people who are like family.
Yeah.
Even like when we're like making calls to like dialing, whenever we need help, we can ask anybody for help.
Right.
Literally anybody, even the managers too, which is really cool. We can go to Hung, we can go to Diego, Irwin too, and it's because of the culture that theLender cultivated, right? It makes it easy for us to like have that fun environment to be in, and an environment to, just be yourself too. Like, be yourself, again, have fun, and just not be afraid of asking questions.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
love it. I wanted to ask you too, Sabrina, for like having the mindset to like go through these like hard things in the first few months. How like you were like, okay, if I don't make commission in the next 4 months, like you're gonna leave, right? I guess for that kind of mindset, like a lot of salespeople, especially for the first time in sales, like they quit after like the first month, second month, third month. They're like, damn, this shit's too hard. It is not for me.
Yeah.
Especially just getting commission only.
Yeah.
I guess for you, like, did you always have that mindset growing up, like the positive mindset, the way you, like, your outlook on life and whatnot?
I definitely had a rough upbringing, so just always trying to focus on the positive no matter what's going on. The chaos that's going on, you always have to focus on one positive thing throughout your day, for sure. Before being here, like I said, I was in sales, so doing a lot of phone calls was a lot. At my previous job, I mean, we would do on average anywhere from 200 to 350 calls. If we were using a power dialer, like, dude, we were doing like 13 to 1500 calls a day.
Power dialer.
And it was nice. Yeah, you click a button and like leaves you a voicemail, and you're just going.
Was it ready mode?
Oh, yeah.
Dialer?
It was
Yeah.
Ring Central.
Oh, Ring
Oh yeah,
Central.
Yeah.
use Ring
Yeah.
Central.
It's not sponsored, but
If you want to
If
sponsor
you
us,
want to,
Yeah.
Sabrina could be
Give
your
me a call.
spokesperson
right
right
here.
here.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, and like timeshares in itself were, I don't know
Rough.
if you guys have ever
Oh,
been
yeah.
to timeshares, but like
Mhm.
going to those presentations, I had gone to them. I've had my fun experiences, but just what people had gone through, it was really sad. Like people would be crying on the phone with you, and so I think being there for a month, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Am I going to be good? But my manager was like, you know what, you can do this. Like you're going to get a deal, and then sure enough, you got a deal, and it's like you keep going and you keep going, and same thing here. Like,
And so in that position though, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm
You're good.
curious. In that position, what you're doing is you're reaching out to people who had purchased timeshares and then buying them back from them.
exactly,
Okay, nice,
yeah,
nice.
getting them out. So, just being here, it's like, I mean, you get the excitement of where, you know, you're like, oh, I got my first broker package, I got my first loan submission, you know, and you're still on your ramp up, and it's like then you start getting excited, like, oh, I'm getting loans, they're big loans, cool, they're gonna go through, and then it's like right at signing, pulled, canceled,
Something happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, I remember I would cry, like I would literally be crying, and everyone's like, you can't cry here,
You
like,
cannot.
go outside.
No
And I
crying,
was like,
no
okay.
crying.
Go 100 feet away in the parking lot. All right.
So, like, I mean, yes, people have seen me cry here. I've definitely shed my tears. Now I think I've got some tougher skin, you know, and just understanding. Like, I tell people, I'm like, if you don't like roller coasters, this job's not for you.
It's definitely not.
So
Yep,
you
it
gotta
is
love
tough.
it for
Yeah,
sure.
no, yeah, it is
Yeah.
tough because you get loans and you know you invest time in these deals, and sometimes deals don't go through for a number of various reasons, right? You know, it could be something as simple as the buyer backs out, or you know, they lose a job,
Right.
or there's a reduction in income all of a sudden. There's
Interest rates.
interest rates. There's a million things in like new individuals that are newer to the industry in this position. You know, they might ask like, hey, what can cause a loan to not go through? And you know, specifically it can be a number of different things, but you know, at the macro level, it's either going to be items that impact credit, items that impact income, and then items that impact the loan to value ratio, right? So appraised values, down payment funds.
There's so many factors, truthfully.
So
like I
many.
could pull loans for you on, like, you know, liens on properties.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was one where they didn't have permits for, like, you know, they did like drywall and they didn't have permits for it, so they got to go back to the city, and it's like we all know how long that takes.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot. There's not just going to be like one cookie cutter thing, like, oh, look out for this. Like, the best thing I would say is just like scrub your file before you're submitting it, so you're not just like throwing dirt on the wall and hoping it sticks.
Yes, scrub your file. It's funny you mentioned that because John and I we talked about that a few episodes ago, and then we also had Matt, another AE, on here who was previously a processor, just really talk about that scrubbing files. And you know, I was talking to another buddy of mine who's a loan officer, and you know, a part of a team, and you know, I mean, like their pull through rates sometimes some months is less than like 50%, which is tough. And you know, I think from an overall like loan officer perspective, AE perspective, like Sabrina said, scrub those files. And so like that's one of the things that separates Sabrina from you know, other account executives, other wholesale banks, where you know, Sabrina's going to take the time to look at that file. She's not going to just say yes, we could do it, just to get the file,
For
because
sure.
that's counterproductive.
I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. I'm never going to get my time back. Money, we can make that back all day.
Yep.
But time, I'll never get back.
100%. Okay, 100%. Like, time's our most valuable asset. Yeah. What do you say, John? You got any other questions? That was a good Sabrina. Like, you are
You're
truly
natural.
an angel. Like,
You are.
like we're
Heaven sent?
literally
Yes,
heaven
just
sent.
came
We're
through.
literally
Perfect timing.
walking in.
I was
and
like, is it podcast time?
yeah,
Yes,
it is. And
is.
I like, to be honest, I almost kind of didn't want to record a podcast today. We missed this morning's podcast because I was just tired, and like I slept in a little bit longer than normal.
Right
and,
there with you.
You know what I mean? So you know, you came right in time, sent from above. wonderful episode. Great to hear a little bit of your story.
Yep.
Thank you,
Looking
guys.
forward to getting to know you more. That's one of the benefits of having this podcast
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
we get to know the awesome individuals on our team. And I know I plan on being here for the long haul. John does. Sounds and looks like you do. So
Yes, please.
we spend a lot of
Mhm.
time here. So we appreciate you taking precious time out of your day to spend with us here on the Hustle Podcast. John,
Yep.
closing statement. Any
All
last
right.
words?
All
Thanks
right,
for
cool,
having me,
guys.
guys.
Well,
Welcome.
as always, thanks for being on, Sabrina. It was last minute. It was like Gabe mentioned, angel sent.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know,
you. I
we
appreciate
literally
you guys.
had. Listen, if we were 1 minute off, we wouldn't have had
Yeah.
you on the podcast.
Literally.
Right?
Like literally,
Right? Literally
one
1
minute off.
1 minute.
We
but
would have been walking behind Sabrina. Sabrina would have been in front of us.
that's right.
We probably wouldn't have said nothing, and we wouldn't be here now. But everything
That's
happens
right.
for a reason.
Things always work out. But yeah, without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. It's on episode 40. If you guys want to find a way to be on a podcast, let us know. Our contact is in the bio above, description below. And Sabrina, where can we find you?
My email is going to be Townsend at theLender. And yeah, I'll have them tag you guys. Tag myself.
Yes, and
That's right.
if you're a loan officer or a mortgage broker, and Sabrina has been reaching out to you, do yourself a favor. Make sure you interact with her. She'll help you out. We got a suite of products that are second to none, and we talk about them a little bit. And Sabrina's going to be able to give you the download, price out your deals for you. Strong in DSCR, non-QM, FHA with down payment assistance. But with any loan scenarios that you come across, make sure you reach out, and we've been more than happy to help you out.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go.